Good morning. Whoa. Happy Monday, everyone. So much action here this morning. Thank you. Thank you so much. Do we want to do these wheel spins now? Hi, Kristen. Hi, Mindy. Hi, Fief. Hi, everyone. How's it going? It's been a while. Let's just do it. My camera. I reset my camera before I left. It's so sensitive. I need to figure out a better solution for it. Alright, let's see if this works. hear it. Where is it? Everything's falling apart. Hey, there it is. Hey, look at that. Zelda collection. Perfect. I'll get to that in a minute. Oh, I just broke everything. Oh no. Oh no. Okay. Yeah, that seems about right. I didn't think about that. What would happen when I hit that button where it closes everything? Yes, always. Okay, I think it's working again. Okay. I'm gonna give you hat time for that second one. Who was that second one? Mindy. I have a couple new hats. I'm gonna guess you're gonna want to pick one of the new hats. Hey, Sib. Oh. Well, welcome on in. Thank you, Kristen, for forcing people's hands. Thank you for the follow. Pardon the dust. It's been, gosh, it's been a month, if not a little over a month since I streamed last, it looks like. Because I left last June 10th. So hello, everyone. I'm back. I'm gonna just get right into it, I think. Because... Nope. There we go. Hello. Okay, the audio went away, of course. Oh, okay. Okay, good. Well, hello, welcome in. Goober boyfriend? That's a weird thing, but... output. Usually I'm more professional than this, so... Okay. Alright. Hats. So, Kirsten, I'll show you your, Zelda thing, later. But first, hats. You'll probably want to pick one of the... I got 2 new hats. I have one hat from... I don't know if it's going to work on this tiny screen. I got a Shibu Inu hat from Don Quixote, which is a store chain over there. I got this guy here. Choice number 1. It's very fluffy. It might be a little hot. Option number 2 is this little Sika deer hat from Nara, or Nada. You want the Shibu? This is very floofy. It actually works, right? There you go. I only saw a few Shibus. A lot of people had dogs, or not a lot of people, but some people had dogs. One of our guides had talked about having a dog, but that they love dogs a lot, but they can only like stick to smaller dogs typically because of the size of the houses. Even though they lived out in Nada actually, which is like, you know, slightly more rural. Okay, cool. Alright, we ready? I'll go as long as I can. Kristen's great, yes. We all appreciate Kristen immensely here. So thank you for allowing us to grace her presence regularly. So yeah, I have until about 11:45 before I gotta go, so I'm gonna get through this. Hopefully we can get through everything today, and then talk about the schedule coming up for the next 2 weeks, and then after that it's gonna change. But yeah, here we are. So for those that don't know, I went to Japan for I would say 17 days. Grace presents either, but here we are. Nice. Well, I'd like to say 17 days because it was a little, you know, when you leave someplace and arrive in the day forward, and things get weird. So I have notes here. So yeah, we took the JAL, which is a daily flight, surprisingly. That leaves from Chicago and arrives in Haneda, which is in Tokyo, one of the 2 Tokyo airports. Here I am. They give you little rice cracker snacks. It's like a mixed bag. The Is it not working? What's going on? Is it broken? Oh no. No, why are you not working? Mandy, what was your percentage again? Oh. What? Of trouble, yes. Of course. Why? Oh, maybe it wasn't not cool with the other text afterwards? I'm not sure why it would matter. 84%, there you go. It's all becoming clear. I am sorry, I can look into that. I don't know why I would be doing that, but oh yeah, so this I know Kristen's taken international flights before, and I assume it's the same everywhere. But for some reason, like when you're taking a weird flight that goes oh no, get alert already. Okay. Well, I'm sorry you'll be missing stuff. Stream mobile, most bots don't like text in front of the command. It could be. Well, this is after. I'm not sure. I don't know. Anyway, Kristen, I assume they do this everywhere. They did it when I went to Australia as well. But they just tend to, like, feed you at weird times, different types of meals. What I would really appreciate when you're taking a flight like this is, let me know what to expect. Like, what current time, because you can see the current time on the screen there. Like, what time you're at currently. Like, at this time, we're gonna feed you breakfast or lunch. This is the kids' meal. This was a kid's lunch or dinner. I can't remember. This was like the first meal they served after we left. They didn't know what to feed kids, so they just gave them kind of everything. We have some meatballs, mac and cheese, vegetables, some broccoli and tomatoes. I don't remember. I think this is some sort of salad. A roll of some sort, and this is like a potato salad, I think. And then a fruit salad. And then it looks like a Twix bar and some crackers and cheese and a bottle of water. Like, we don't know what your kid's gonna want, so here, have everything. This is like the dinner. This might have been on the way back. That's a lot of food. The vegan meal is usually a fruit cup and a few pieces of lettuce. Oh no, I'm sorry. This is like our dinner. So rice, a pickled veg, salmon, looks like bok choy and carrots, and soba, cold noodles with some onions, fruit cup. This is a piece of salmon with some sort of salad, and then a normal salad. So they would like come around. It was weird because the second meal was like, I'm saying second meal. I don't know what they thought we would like, but they served us a little like tiny French bread pizza. Yeah, what do you want? Some smoked spinach. Wow, and you stick and you. You're gonna take that, Kristen? I don't know if they thought like, oh, you're coming from Chicago, you want pizza, right? I don't know. They didn't serve us pizza on the way to Chicago. We didn't get to see Mount Fuji very well, but we did get to see it as we were coming in to Tokyo. Just the tip of it, which was kind of cool. Through the clouds, mind you. Oh yeah, the food is like this is airplane food, surprisingly. Yeah, it's pretty cool. Got to see it from the plane there. There I am. So we landed, and there I am on the monorail from the airport to to Akihabara, which is where we stayed in Tokyo. So this is just a view from the monorail. If you have any questions, just ask me. I will try and do my best to answer. Oh, you know what I forgot is my journal. That's alright, I'll wing it. I tried doing my best in making a journal for the things that we had done. I fell off about 3/4 of the way through the trip. It's just hard to keep up. So this is a view from the hotel that we were staying at in Akihabara. It's very interesting. That neighborhood specifically is like a lot of these tall buildings, very skinny roads that barely anyone would travel via car through, but there was like a parking place next door, so the people could park their cars underneath the buildings here.
Okay, guys, I've devised a plan to find better home internet.
Or we can go with US Cellular's faster home internet.
Hold on.
Can we still keep the heist music?
Sorry, I don't pay for
US Cellular new and improved home internet.
Spotify.
$4.99 when bundled with a
Gonna shut off this political ad. How is it transported? This stuff. Oh yeah. English transportation wise, all over the place. Which you'll see here. But yeah, it was really interesting. Like, what was fascinating is like these streets, obviously like giant buildings everywhere. Even this like sort of we're a few blocks away from some things I'll show you in a second. But how quiet things are here versus like where we're headed. But some of these would be like businesses, but you can see like residential on the top here. Oh, so this is an elevator. I would just sometimes I like recording sounds and videos of just like random things that I found interesting or different. So I hope you don't mind. Let's see if we can get this to actually play though. Are you going to play sound? Did you hear that? So you can see there's English there as well on the elevator.
First floor. Doors are open.
But yeah, they definitely switched between like English and Japanese and some other languages as well. Oftentimes, especially at the like train platforms and stuff. Okay, this is okay, so yeah, this is like that alley would bend over here and then go down this street. And this is a train platform, or the rails at the very least. The sidewalks had these like oftentimes these yellow like I don't know what you would call them, medians almost. I at first thought they're like, oh, maybe they're just helpful for people because like you hear like people like to walk on the left side of the walkway here in Tokyo, or the right side on Kyoto or whatever. But really it was like everyone sort of just walks. But you can see the street has like all these izakayas, which are well, this one had Thai food, it looks like. But they're kind of like brew pubs, so we weren't sure about those for my daughter, so we didn't really go into like the smaller ones here. We know some places are more family friendly than others, Not that there's anything on like seedy going on in there or anything. It's just more of a cultural thing. Like, but yeah, these signs very much all Japanese. Other than like you'll see occasionally other things as well. A lot of bicycles here, but Kyoto really is the bike city. Alright, I got a video here. I have a video going... Yeah, no problem. Yeah, you see more residential stuff up here. Like, we'd rarely see people, like, in the morning, we'd see people walking on these streets, to going to work or whatever, and I'll show you that in a second. So, like, going down a block, coming back, and then you'd get to the main Akihabara station, and I have like sort of a video showing off what it's like walking from across the street towards the station, and then like an example of what it might look like in a station, and then going up to the platform. I only took snippets because I didn't want to take too many videos of people. But you can see there, if I back up here, you can see that sign is, it has the Romanji as well as the other characters, kanji, hiragana, and katakana. And then, but it also uses like normal numbering and then the naming. So here's these yellow lines again, you can see. But a common thing. Oh yeah, it was really nice weather-wise for sure. Like there was only we went in the rainy season, but really it only rained in Kyoto a couple of days, but not the full day even. Even on the train platform, gashapon everywhere. I'll show more of that later. I've maybe seen, gosh, multiple thousands of gashapon while there. Oops. But you see, it gets busy, but I was expecting this everywhere, but it's not exactly. Yeah, the trains typically, especially in Tokyo, were pretty full. And then there we are on the other side. These sounds that you're hearing, I don't know if you hear them very well, are here, I can crank the volume a little bit. They're actual like tones that each station would play, and different stations play different tones. Which was fascinating. I guess like if you put them all together, you would hear like one complete song. So the crazy thing, oh yeah. The crazy thing was the stations. Akihabara is a bigger station, but like each station just felt ginormous. They were just like, oftentimes you would get in them, you would get on a train, you would get off a train and not know what level you were on. So like Google Maps is super helpful to tell you like, well, if you already had your directions, it would tell you like, you could find like exit via this letter or this letter number sequence. Sometimes there'd be escalators. Oftentimes there'd just be flights of stairs. So if you're wondering how Japanese people stay so healthy, I think it's all the stairs. There's just, I think it clocked in like one of the days on my Fitbit. It was just ridiculous, the number of flights of stairs and steps. This sign here is mostly Japanese. Oh, so some of the trains in Tokyo had little videos of like Nintendo stuff, which is kind of cool, like little ads. So back to the neighborhood in Akihabara, there was like a block down, there was this park, and inside the corner of the park was a little shrine. Here's some pictures of the shrine. This is a rice god shrine because you could tell because it had a fox. And this is like the roof of the covering. So yeah. Day one. If we'd call it day one. We went to Sensoji Temple and took an Asakusa, which is a neighborhood, food tour. What's accessibility like? Most of the stations don't have elevators. There was, I would say a lot of them had elevators, but oftentimes they were pretty full. In Kyoto, I didn't see a whole ton of people needing accessibility. Outside of in Kyoto, we had one time where we were on the bus and someone was in a wheelchair, and I would say like on the bus they had like a spot for them. On the trains they did too. On that bus, the driver like at the stop that the person needed to go on like came out of the bus, like put a ramp down, and helped the person like, you know, get out of there, but they were like, oh, I got it, or whatever. So I would say like, at least in Kyoto, it seemed like they were very aware. So this place is kind of crazy. Like, there's like this giant shopping area leading up to the Sensoji Temple. This place gets nuts. Like, the shopping area, very touristy. But each of these, like, temples would have, usually a large lantern thing, and then, like, statues or sort of guardians outside, and you'd also find, like, a pagoda nearby. This one also had, like, a garden, with, like, koi and a river and a bridge and stuff. There wasn't a whole ton of green space, but when there was, it was generally nice. So, like, this is one of the shopping stalls that we came really early because we slept weird because of the travel that first day. But, so there was, like, no one here, but later I think I have a picture of, like, this place was full. This stall was closed at the time. But yeah, here's, like, the big lantern. Underneath, they would also have a wood carving. This one had, like, I don't remember if it was like a dragon in this one. Yeah. Yes, this you can see like there's two dragons in here. Oftentimes there's like a thing about these where you touch the gold or the treasure and it would give you good luck or whatever. But oftentimes people will touch the outside, and I'll give you a little secret. That's not the part that's just like plated. That's not actual gold. On this particular one, you have to go to the treasure what the dragon has. That's the part you want to touch. Hey, May. Good morning. Or good afternoon, I suppose. How's it going? I'm showing off pictures from my Japan trip. Well, come on in. So this is the same place. We're clicking over here. Oh, thank you. So yeah, you can see a little bit of the garden, some statues, Buddha statues, other prayer areas, etc. Oftentimes these places would have, well, they would always have a place to cleanse yourself before going into the temple. There's like a whole ritual with that. But they're very intricate. Everything's very intricate. Like these little dragon fountains. You're supposed to like put the water in this little thing, and then use half of it on one hand, half of it on the other hand. Here you could put money in this thing and get a fortune. It would these things would have like a stick in them, and you would pull the stick out, and a number would be on the stick, and then you would pull the thing out matching the number. But here you can see like this is all Japanese, but the bottom, I think there was some instructions in English. I had a medium fortune. My daughter got a good fortune, which is apparently pretty rare. But you can see this is that same building. There's the pagoda, and here's the shopping street. By mid-morning, it was already getting crazy. I just took some interesting, art pictures of the different buildings there. There's a little frog guy. One of the stalls had a little thing. Oh yeah, so the food tour, we had, this is some sort of like chicken thing. It was like, it wasn't just chicken, it was like a fried chicken thing, but there was like stuff mixed inside. It was almost like eating an onion ring, but there was like chicken. Yeah, the frogs are cute. So yeah, we went on that tour. We went for a little walk. We'll go over here later. This is the Tokyo Sky Tree. And some other buildings. Some traffic. There was some driving for sure, but I don't know why you would drive. I don't remember the story of this building. It was like a brewer, I think, and this was supposed to be like, this was supposed to be upright, and because of the size and weight, they had to lay it on its side. I don't remember if it was supposed to be like a flame or like, I don't know, they had to lay it on its side. I don't remember the exact story. Yeah. Yeah, it was kind of crazy. Like, I would say, like, what amazed me the most is, like, these busy populated areas, crazy, mostly tourists, and then, if you got a little bit farther out, like at the Akihabara, where we were, the streets are, like, empty. Unless it was, like, dinner time or, like rush hour. But even then, like, you didn't have to go very far in order to see basically no one. No thank you. I don't want to. No. Please no. Yeah, basically it's a Rossetti. Yeah. Helping out the underground, Asakusa Underground District. There's a little frog statue. This is for dessert. We had a couple like this ice cream thing, but my daughter got this giant icy thing with mango syrup or something in it. It was giant. It was like the size of her head. Oh, the Casual Gold building? Where is that? Oh, yeah, this one. I don't know what that one is. Birds, we mostly saw sparrows and giant crows that sounded very animated, very distinct caw. So we went up into the Tokyo Skytree, so we got some views of the city. No, it's okay. I could try. I wonder if I could fix that. I know sometimes I can like I'm trying to go a little quick, but if you want me to slow down, just let me know. But yeah. The city seemed to stretch on forever. I feel like we saw a lot of things, but barely touched the city. So after visiting the Skytree, oh no, you're good. We went to Kirby Cafe. So the Kirby Cafe, we needed to book at 4 in the morning our time, a month in advance, a month plus in advance. And you might see why here in a minute. It was very cool. The food was surprisingly good, except for the desserts were somewhat disappointing. They looked cool though. At least, yeah, it was a month. It was like a day, a month, like a specific day in a month you'd book for the next month, if that makes sense. Like, so halfway through this month, you would book for August. And it would book up like, done. In a second. And that's why we couldn't go to the Ghibli Museum. Same thing. So we got lucky with this one at least, and it was pretty cool. I have, so like, you know, they're gimmicky in as far as nope. That's back at those Asakusa food tour at the end, sorry. That photo got out of order. So inside you have a big, the Wispy Woods tree. And people could sit around there. But you can see there's not a whole ton of, seating. Oh, they had this really cool TV back here. On the wall. That looked like people working in the kitchen. It was funny because like it was where the kitchen actually was. So sometimes people would like walk, you can't really see it in this picture, like right here's the end of the wall, and people would like walk out of that area with food and whatever. There was one time where I thought it was like real because like someone left frame at the same time someone walked out. I was like, oh, how do they do that? What is going on? Because sometimes like they would animate like Kirby back here and like stuff happening out in the kitchen, like crazy stuff. So yeah, you can buy little cookie jars and all sorts of fun stuff there at the store. The walls were decorated. Their whole mantra, their delicious times, precious memories. Yes, everything was very cute. Here's one of the. I think this is what my daughter got. It was a Waddle Dee burger. So the bun had like a Waddle Dee on it, and it came with like pasta. This little star potato, and then a soup. So you can pay a little extra, and you get to keep the plate, but you don't keep that plate. They give you a clean plate, which we did. So we got a plate and 2 mugs. Here's one of them. I can't really see it, but yeah, mugs are nice, but yeah, they're hard to travel with, I guess. They did box them up. We got all clean stuff. Yeah, imagine getting a dirty plate with us. However, the meal I had, it came with the thing that we took, which was I got a Kirby beef bowl, which was surprisingly delicious. Sorry, Kristen, shield your eyes. It was like this little plastic bowl, and inside was the meal. This was like a little bento box. But there was like rice and beef and egg and little cheese or something. I can't remember. All the silverware was unique. Little Kirby on there. It was probably one of the better beef bowls I had there. They had specialty drinks that these mugs were used for. They were like I don't know. I'm not a coffee drinker, so I know these aren't actually coffee. They're like milk thing with a flavor. I can't remember the name of it. Sorry. But you could pick between a selection of designs for the top of it. This is what I drank, which was like an orange drink with like they like Jello texture things there, and then like some cream stuff on the top. That's pretty good. This was another meal one of us had. It was like a little Wispy Woods thing that was kind of a little bit of everything, like a rice block chopped in a star, some cube, lettuce, some other things. Inside these pieces were like soup and then other parts of the meal. You can see this is like open up like a little salad, a soup. Here's a dessert. Like I said, it looked cooler than it tasted. The Carby. All those little cookies were pretty good. A little matcha thing. So in the same building, so this is all like in sort of a mall that's attached to this Tokyo Skytree, also part of. I see that a lot. There's like, if you're ever wondering, where did malls go? I will tell you, they went to, or stayed in Japan. Yeah, it's like a little landscape. That's right. So there, also in that mall, was our first Pokemon Center. We went to as many as we could. Not all of them, mind you, but we did go to many of them. They each had different themes. I don't remember the theme in this one, but this one had a big, this guy coming out of the ceiling with Pikachu riding. Oh yeah, you didn't know they had Pokemon centers? Oh, they do. If you want to go, they have many. Oh, okay, and then so I think we're on our next. I didn't take a lot of I didn't share a lot of pictures because some of them have people in them. So the next day, the next full day, we went to a cat cafe right next to Yodobashi Camera in Akihabara, and then we went to shop in Yodobashi, which is this giant that song I played at the very beginning. That's the theme song for Yodobashi Camera. They have a theme song that plays pretty much on loop. It's like, imagine like a Best Buy, but 8 floors, and they have way more things. Like anything you could possibly imagine, they have a Yodobashi Camera, and they have more than one location. We went to each of them in all the major cities that we went to. So this is all the cats. They had, this one was all in Japanese here. Fake fan and ignorant to my internal troubles. Okay. Orion, Tsumaki. But yeah, they had their names on here. Some were more friendly than others. But they were taking pretty good care of them here. This is Moth, I think it was the name of it. They have a favorite cat at the cafe. At this one, I really liked one of them that didn't care much about me. She wouldn't have told me about the beef balls. Yes, of course. They had a Bengal one here that was adorable, but that one seemed to be more of a loner. So there was like a little gacha machine that you could get treats out of, and as soon as you grab the treats, they were like, "Hello." Oh yeah, the which one? This one back here? Oh yeah, these guys, the sign. What are they? This particular cafe had a lot of the different breeds. That was like their kind of their thing. And I'm blanking right now. All the flat-faced ones look kind of grumpy, like this Scottish fold here. But yeah, you get rid of the treats out. This one really loved treats. This one's all about the treats. And they have signs like, watch out, they have nails. This one doesn't have a tail. It's like a little bobtail. Oh, there's a sleepy one. So yeah, Yodobashi, this was the Akiba one. Oh, yeah, I don't know if I've been to one cat cafe here. It was in, was it Kentucky? And that one was decent. Oh yeah, back at this one, they had like the cafe portion was interesting because they just had like it was more focused on the cats, and they did have like a couple of machines where you could buy warm or cold beverages, and those were like part of the cost of the experience. But they had like toys that you could play with them. But it was pretty nice, and they seemed to like cycle in like cats. They would grab a cat and bring it down to a different room, you know, do whatever they needed to do. But yeah, Yodobashi is a spectacle. Bottom floor, like computers, cell phones, or whatever. As you go up, it's different things. One floor is like washing machines. One floor is like toys and stuff, and that's where we spend a lot of the time. This one had like a Uniqlo inside, which I could talk about. This like in the game section. So this was in Yodobashi. This wasn't in the Nintendo store. Oh, here you go. I can show you my first Zelda. I have to take this hat off. It's getting too hot. So game prices are interesting there because, like, well, right now the yen is weak to the dollar, so that was advantageous for buying things. But like the game section was huge. This was just Nintendo. Head out for the office. Okay. Oh yeah, thank you for hanging out, and thank you for sharing Kristen again with us. They had like little I should bring that. Like neat little paper advertisement, I guess, for some games. So like this is the Peach one, but it's like very elaborate. Like can pop out like this, and then it keeps going. It keeps going. It keeps going somehow. Oh, it just reversed. I just reversed it. Here's a Mario Wonder one. I just grabbed a couple of those as sort of free souvenirs. There you go. Oh. So I was able to complete my Zelda amiibo collection at Yodobashi the first time we were there. Because they have 2 of the amiibos. This is your Zelda collection corner, I guess. These 2 amiibos are like store exclusives here in the United States, and they cannot be easily found for a normal price because they're never in stock. So I have I think this is the Skyward Sword one. And you see what's interesting about pricing. Even the games are like this. The pricing was different depending on the thing. So this one was 1,790 yen. And this is the, I think this is the Ocarina of Time one. So yeah, these 2 are store exclusives here. So we went in there, I was like, oh, they just have all the amiibos. Not just these ones, but like other ones that are hard to find in the States. And this one's 1940. It's about $6.40 US for 1,000 yen. So these are cheaper. Cheaper than they are here for sure. So they're normally like $16 at least a piece, if you could find it new. And oftentimes, like, a little weird thing, like, I used to seeing the tax-free thing at, like, the airport or whatever, but some of the stores were like, tax-free! It's like, I don't care. I'll pay tax. I'm happy to pay tax. Yeah, so this one's like $11.15, so like $5 cheaper. If you again, that's if you happen to find it new at the store. um,
What do you get
Whoa.
combine grilled to order deliciousness
No.
with only the finest Wisconsin cheeses? Cousin Sub's new Wisconsin cheese.
No, you get some Wisconsin ads here. Whoop. But the games were priced like that too. So like I was really tempted, but didn't. I was gonna get that Princess Peach game. It would have been like $36 or something instead of $60. And all the games were like slightly different than each other, just like these ones. Come on, there it goes. Oh, yeah, so they had a bunch of stuffies there, games. They had like prop memorabilia. Like here's a Master Sword. I don't remember where this was though. This was just they had TVs there. A Gashapon, like just miles of Gashapon in this place. Not miles, but a ton of them. Stuffies are fun, but they're hard to, I mean, you can only squish them down so much, right? So I got a Mario, a couple Mario ones. I don't know where the other one went. Here's a double Mario. Which is like a specific a power up in 3D World. This one I haven't opened yet. I would say like in some ways they're very like, they take trains, like they're all about public transportation. So they're somewhat environmentally conscious, right? But then they use a ton of plastic everywhere. Plastic. Gashapon, plastic. Convenience stores. Individually wrapped things, all in plastic. You could recycle the gashapons there, like the balls, the capsules. Sorry, I'm fighting with this one. Anyway, we'll do this later. There's a cat Luigi in here. I can show it to you later. They really, there's a piece of tape and my hands are, it's warm today. It's just not breaking. It's just a different, wait, why did this end up here? Well, this is not in the right spot. This is Shibuya Crossing. We got there a different day. You may have heard of it. I think I got confused and put it here. This was during the weekend, so it wasn't as crazy. I felt like, maybe because it was the weekend. Here, I got them out. But you have, sometimes they would have this other places as well, like a crosswalk that went basically through the center of the intersection. You'd have one going this way, one over there, one this way, one of them this way, one of them this way, and then one through the middle. Or maybe sometimes there'll be two through the middle. Alright, here's back on track. I did go to one other game store, like a used game store there, on this area in Akihabara. Actually, I went to two. I went to Super Potato there. I didn't get anything that location, but I did get Minish Cap on the Game Boy Advance. It's called something different there. Just a loose one. So it's something that was in my collection. It's a little harder to find here. It's easy to find games there, I would say, generally speaking. I would say that the costs are like more relative to here as far as used games are concerned. New stuff, like I said, pretty variable. This is like an arcade. Big camera is kind of like Yodobashi camera. This is upstairs in Yodobashi. They had food court. I would say food court's not close to what they are there or here. Oh, did we lose the music? Let's just do quiet. There it goes. Some of the places you could order on a machine, there was oftentimes these machines would have an English option, and then lots of pictures. If you did have to order from like a waiter or waitress, you would typically have pictures on the menu, and you would like say, well, I want like 2 of this one. You'd point at it. And I saw people doing that, like natives doing that as well. So it wasn't like I'm a dumb American, I don't know how to do this. Also, like you can see this a beef bowl, whatever this is, maybe pork, I can't remember. 910 yen. Food, generally speaking, incredibly cheap. Lots of it. Anyway, so like the upstairs here would have like a food court, but however, keep in mind, like it's not like a mall food court. This is like a big area, like an entire floor of a building, and in that building, in that area, they would have multiple restaurants set up, and it would be kind of like an open walkway that you could walk around. Some of the seats would be out in that walkway, kind of, but these were like restaurants that just happened to be in a mall type of setting. Oftentimes the food like restaurants were like that. They were like up on the top floor of something or in the basement of a different mall, and sometimes these malls would be attached to the subway stations. Oftentimes, like the big subway stations might have multiple malls attached to them, basically inside of them, or they were a part of. But sometimes, again, those food courts you might find at basement level 2 or level 8 or 12. But it'd be a very similar situation where it'd be like, I say a food court, very like not what you would expect. Like these are like good restaurants that just happen to be all in one location. This is like, I would say, generally speaking, I didn't see a lot of Animal Crossing stuff there. Like you could find the old games. They had plenty of copies of the DS one. I don't know the name of it. For pretty inexpensive. But not a lot outside of the Nintendo stores. Animal Crossing stuff. This was in the Super Potato. They did have like like this weird art. I'm not sure. I don't think this is official. Alright, so the next day. So Super Potato, you may have heard of that chain. There's a few of them. I did get one thing at the... I don't remember if it was Osaka one. I'll show that off later. They have like so much. There's so much that's very crammed in there. That's also a common thing. Like you have these skyscrapers, but like each level might not be very big. And if they had like a store like this where there was just tons of stuff in it, the shelving would not allow many people to go through width-wise at a time for sure. You couldn't pass someone in a shelf or in an aisle. But they had like old consoles, like old games of any sort. I was on the hunt for a few Japanese exclusive things, and I didn't actually find them. But I don't know, like all the DS games were in Japanese on the covers, so it was hard to search. Like I would be searching from like, well, this is produced or published by Nintendo, so I'll just look at those ones and look at the cover. But if it was in like a case somewhere, I couldn't do that as easily. So the next full day was our second most walked day, was Disney, Tokyo Disney Sea. So here's a monorail heading in there. As you enter, there's like this big globe. The whole thing with Disney Sea is that you'll get there in a second. It's like a harbor, and each area of the harbor is like a theme of a different country. So imagine like Epcot, but blown up to like the full park. And not just restaurants, but like sometimes rides and or other themings. Fantasy Springs was like a new area, so they're heavily advertising it. It had just opened up early June. So like a week and a half or two before we got there. But yeah, you can see like here's the harbor area, and you can take like these little boat rides. They had different types of boats. This was like a steamboat. And it was kind of in the central area, whereas everything was kind of around it. And this is where they would have like their shows and parades and stuff. Some of the rides were similar to other Disney parks, but a lot of them were like unique. Like here's Tower of Terror. I did not go on that, but they had that there. But yeah, each of them were kind of like themed on a different country. Why aren't you zooming out of the way? So there's like Italy. Had to take this one. There's like a America part. I think the actual like, because this was on the bay, so across this rock is actually like the water, like the Tokyo Bay or whatever. So I had lunch. We like got there kind of late because it was kind of a hassle getting there. That was the first incidents on a train that we had. A very full train that morning, and at Akihabara, yeah, I was at Akihabara. There was an emergency stop on a packed car, and about
US Cellular knows small business owners have to deal with a lot, so they're giving them a lot, all for
a quarter or a third of the train toppled over like dominoes. Unfortunately, my daughter got a little squished, but she was okay, thankfully. It was kind of freaky, but it was weird because that morning it was like that was the most packed car we had gone in because of the time. And it was like I was commenting in my own head like I am amazed on how quiet this train is for how many people are on here. It was like you could hear a pin drop in there until everyone fell over. And then I was like a little bit like everyone sort of gathering themselves. Some person lost their glasses. Like it was kind of scary, but we were okay. Like we were fine. It was just scary. Anyway, so we got there a little late. There was some bus concerns because you could take a bus out there, and there was a cost for the bus that was maybe more than on our cards that we had. So we got these special cards for using the travel. They have IC cards, a couple different kinds. But you would load them up with cash, and then they would kind of debit out of there. The travel was pretty inexpensive. The Shinkansen, not cheap, but we went to like Mexico. Oh, as you see, what kind of shirt am I wearing today? Look at that. I wore olives to Disney. We went to like someplace in Mexico or something, Spain. I can't remember. Yes. And I had this taco thing that had like a purple tortilla. And it was like surprisingly good. Oh, these fries. Some of the best fries I've ever had at a restaurant. It was at Disney Sea for some reason. This is like nearby at like the under the sea Little Mermaid area. this was like in this crazy walkway. Hey, I'm not a wrap. Yeah. It's like a taco. It was a vegetarian one. I believe it had just had beans and stuff in it. It was very good. Anyway. A couple of their big like highlight rides are 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea and Journey to the Center of the Earth. This is going down to the sea one. They had some like cool theming and stuff in there. This was as part of the ride. It was a very like gentle ride, very heavy on theming, like a Disney ride. Like at some point you're like in this boat that kind of goes around the submersible thing, and then you see this giant kraken and lightning and stuff. Even one of the more intense rides, the Journey to the Center of the Earth, you would go on this like coaster thing. Oh, it was, again, very gentle ride. There was one drop at the end, but otherwise it was pretty more heavy on theming. You would like go through this caverns, and then like a big bug guy came out at the end. Yeah, here's some more of the park. There's like the Arabian section. No, excuse me. They had a Marine Life Institute, which they had like a Dory ride. It was like one of those like theater rides where the seats would move and there was a big screen. Thank you. And they would talk this was all in Japanese, so I was like, I can glean what they're, what's going on here, but I don't I don't know exactly. Oh, we went on Toy Story. They had like an interactive Toy Story ride. The setting for this place was really cool. There's like giant blown up like toy things. But you're in like this little cart that you would zip around in, and it would be in front of these screens. And you would like play like a shooting gallery with this gun, and you had 3D glasses on, so stuff would like pop out and stuff. It was pretty fun. So yeah, we did get to do Fantasy Springs. Because it had just opened, you needed like either a pass that you would somehow happen upon in the app, or you had to pay for a specific ride in there to get it on like the list or whatever. So all these people, so in order to even get into the new part, you needed to do one of those two things. We ended up buying something, and even that was kind of a hassle because the app would just like immediately book up. But we did buy a ticket for the Peter Pan ride. But you see all these people probably paid extra to go in here. But it was pretty cool. They had like a resort at one end and like all these big carvings and like Fantasy Springs. So they had a bunch of like themed water features. So this was inside the Peter Pan ride. I didn't take any pictures of in the ride, but here you were on like these boats. I don't know how the ride worked. It was kind of crazy. If you've ever been to the closest I can picture or explain it is if you've ever done the like that big Harry Potter ride at Universal, where you were like flying around and you'd be like basically immersed in these giant screens. It was kind of like that, but like even beforehand to get in there, they had like little video boards where you're waiting in line, and you kind of watched like a story play out or whatever. But it was like an animated Peter Pan. It was new looking, I don't know. But you would get in this boat and it would like shuffle you along but like you would go in between like normal kind of scenes, like physical scenes that would blend with these giant like rooms with these giant screens where all you could see was this giant screen. Like, and you would like go between these like 3 times or something. Like, it's like, what are they doing? Are there like multiple rooms with these giant screens, or are they somehow like looping us back into this thing, into the screen room again, but showing us a different picture? Like, I have no idea how it was working, but it was like kind of crazy. But here's like an example of one of the springs. Like a dragon carving, like water feature. I don't remember who's over here. Here's another one. Oh, this one's Rapunzel and Pascal. So back into the main park. This is one of the coasters in the Little Mermaid area. This was like Flounders something. I can't remember what it was called, but my daughter really likes this roller coaster. It was the first ride we went on, and it was the last ride we did before we left. She like, it was her first like big coaster, and she enjoyed it. This is just some more stuff, like Steamworks stuff from one of the areas. So at night they had like little, you know, Disney changes at night. But it was kind of cool. Oh, we did happen to catch the big show, the big finale night show on our way out. Oh, she doesn't like it. Rides a lot. Oftentimes we have to do like the swap thing. But she, you know, she was a trooper. She did that one. She liked that one. She did the 20,000 Leagues one. The one I wanted to do but didn't get a chance to do because of timing and getting into the Peter Pan thing, was the Indiana Jones one. But yeah, you see, like, you can't really see, but this is like the water area, and they had like these like boat floats with like, you know, there's Donald Duck, there's Peter Pan, Wendy, there's other people on here. Big fireworks. And the monorail had like a little Mickey Mouse holders. So yeah, that was the Disney. That was the second biggest day. As far as walking went. Even the little handle thing is like his little outfit. And the windows were all Mickey Mouse ears too on the thing. Alright, the next day we went to Ueno Park, which is this giant park akin to like, I've never been to New York, but I've heard it's akin to like Central Park. So within the park they have like a zoo, nice wooded area. They have like shrines and temples and like museums and stuff. So that day we went to the zoo and to a museum. The National Museum of Nature and Science and the Yanaka Ginza. At the end of the day, we went to a shopping area that was cat focused. They had a pagoda at the zoo. It was an interesting thing where they had like this little water area, and you can see like just like city behind the park, and the zoo. Like a little island with guys down there. They did have 3 or 4 pandas there. which is, you know, not a common thing to find at zoos. They were kind of busy. Everyone wanted to see pandas, so we only got to see one. Little penguins. Yeah, the panda was cute. It was like chomping on some bamboo. One of the signs for like one of the dark areas. I don't remember who they had in here. They had a really nice spot for. I wrote it down in my book and now I can't remember. Some night guy. I thought it was funny because it said, "Welcome to the world of darkness." Saw the tortoise there and munching on some veg. The lunch zoo, or the lunch at the zoo, had some pork katsu and curry. That was surprisingly good. And then at the museum, they had different sections, natural sciences, history, and stuff. These are a bunch of meteorites that fell in Japan. The museum was harder to do as not a native speaker because most of the signage was in Japanese. They had like this cool section on clocks I found interesting. Like they had something in English about this. Like this person made this crazy elaborate clock. It had like multiple faces. It could like once it was set, it could like, you know, change, like tell you the season and all sorts of crazy stuff. It's very elaborate. Took some pictures of some old like computers. So yeah, after that we took a train to the Yanaka shopping district, or shopping street, which is all cat themed. And when I say cat themed, it's pretty loose. Just to have a lot of stores that have a lot of cat things, cat memorabilia. Even a bakery where you could buy like pastries that are shaped like cat tails of various flavors and colors. And like the signage would often have cats or something on them. Oh, we even have statues that are just like cat statues. I don't remember what they sold here. Oftentimes, like any street, there would be like a grocer or like some little food stand, like at the bottom level of some building. If for dinner, we found this like tiny little cafe like off the street, like down this alleyway. That's a weird thing too, is like even like by their hotel in Akihabara, I was like, they're kind of like walking down alleyways at it's like way different than here. It's like completely safe, no worries at all. But we went in this little cafe, had some sandwiches. Whoa.
When the Brewers take on the Nationals July 12th through the 14th, featuring a Brewers Image Viewer giveaway and Cerveceros Day festivities.
Oh, all right. Oh, so you might see in this picture, I have a new shirt on. Kind of alluded to Uniqlo that was inside. There was one, I think it was in the Asakusa area. You can buy stuff at Uniqlo here, but I don't know where there is an actual store. And plus it's way cheaper there. Got a little... They had some Nintendo, like, official partnership things at Uniqlo. So I got a little Korok shirt. This one over here, too. And then I got this Blood Moon shirt. Less cute, but... And I found, like, I was looking for new shorts before I left. And I found these shorts that I really like. And I ended up getting a couple pair throughout the trip. I still don't like buying, like, clothing or whatever, but... Oh. It's like a postcard from the Yanaka shopping area. I had like this local artist that had these postcards. Now the shirts are like, I want to say like $7-8 or something. And the shorts were a little more expensive at like $16 or something. So, first Nintendo store. This was in the next day near Shibuya. So the other one should have been the crossing should have been with these guys. What's interesting is like each neighborhood had very different vibes, I would say. Like this was more like Shibuya is more trendy and like newer. It seemed to be more active with younger folk compared to Akihabara. Akihabara is like old Electric Town. Also, I will also say, like, generally speaking, I saw some people on trains or whatever playing games, but they tend to just play them on their phones. So in these Nintendo stores, you'd see a lot of mainly tourists, I feel like. Not a lot of, like, it seemed like the culture, generally speaking, seems more into anime or manga over games still. Generally speaking. Like, the nerddom is still seemingly there. Also Gashapon, like, locals were buying that stuff too. Like, they seem to want to collect all of their favorite thing or whatever. But they did, like, have a lot of anime present at those. The Nintendo stores, generally speaking, not as, like, diverse as the Pokemon centers. But they did have some unique aspects to them. The Tokyo one was by far the craziest one. It was like in a mall in Shibuya near another Pokemon center, which you see. As you see, this place was poppin'. And this was a weekday, I believe. Had anything you could look. If you want Animal Crossing stuff, this is where you would go. They had all these little I'm blanking on the name. Little pendant things. a Pikmin section. Animal Crossing. They had these cool little shirts, plates. A bunch of Yoshis, any color you want. And they had these gashapons that were special to the Nintendo store, where you could get a piece of a controller. You can kind of see in here they had the Super Famicom controllers and the NES controllers. You could either get a crosspad, the start select, or the A/B buttons. I got one at Tokyo, and I got the NES crosspad, keychain. It feels good. Feels like an actual controller piece. I mean, it's made by Nintendo. These were 600 yen, so a little pricier. Anything like more centered toward tourism tended to be more expensive. And I got the matching one in Osaka. I got lucky and got the Super Famicom one. So I got one each, which is nice. Those, yeah, 600 for that. So this one had like a little outdoor area with some pixel stuff, which was cool. One of the beers of choice there was Asahi, a drink manufacturer. We bought some of this when we came back in America, and it was like made in Italy or something. Which I can't see that here now. Maybe it says that here. This says Supa Durai, which is the same as that. They had a Capcom store, so we like Monster Hunter, and like a little Monster Hunter display. I had all of these little PAL guys from Monster Hunter. This Pokemon Center was like, it had this giant Mew in the tank, which was kind of cool. Mewtwo, I mean. Oh, this one was this the one? This one had a really cool idea. Was it this one? I think it was this one. This one had a really cool idea. It had this, I don't remember what they called it. They had all these t-shirts on the walls, and we're like, oh, some of these t-shirts look really cool. Like, I wonder if you could buy them. But no, there was like this process where you could, maybe it wasn't this one, but one of them had this idea where you could go to this machine kiosk and design your own Pokemon shirt, and then they'd print it on a shirt there, but you'd have to wait like an hour. And then there was a line to like get to the kiosk or whatever. But they had some really cool like pieces of art that you could throw on a custom t-shirt basically. And I think it was only like $20 or something. I don't know. Maybe it was slightly more, but after the shopping, we went to the Meiju Jingu Temple and Garden. On the way there, there was like this giant sports complex. It must have, I think, at one point used during the Olympics in Tokyo. But here's a Torii gate. There's a long walk to get into this temple. There was like this section where you could read about all these barrels of sake that were donated to more or less christen the place. I had these giant trees like in My Neighbor Totoro. What are they called again? And they had those prayer spots again here. Oh, these ones are... they had another common thing at the temples. Or is this a temple or a shrine? What did I say? Temple, yeah. Where you could like sort of write a note, sort of like a good luck thing, and put right here. What does it say? Emma, votive tablets for special personal prayers and gratitude toward the deities enshrined in the Meiji Jingo Shrine are offered to you for 500 yen apiece, hung around the divine tree with your wishes written on the reverse side. These ema are offered at Mikasai, the morning ceremony held every day, and your supplications are conveyed by the priests. So... there you see, there's the giant Totoro trees. I can't remember the name. Yeah, just like intricate woodwork throughout. There's an old tea house that was on the grounds, and the garden had just like an area. What if these like lilies or something? I'm bad with flower names, pardon me. It was interesting to see how they do like gardening. It's very like wet, muddy, and then they had like an irrigation channel around it. There were some baby ducks out there. This was like that entryway was not too far from the Harajuku station, which is one of the more well-known ones, which we took to get back. Or we went back to the hotel. We took a little break before going to the Pokemon Cafe. Pokemon Cafe, another one of those weird ones where you'd have to get lucky. However, you'll see in here, it's not for the same reasons of the size. Like the Kirby Cafe, there was only so many people you could fit in there. The Pokemon Cafe seemed to like be bigger. However, there seemed to be table settings for specifically sized groups. So if you're going with 3 people, you would be stuck to the four seat tables, and they only had so many of those. Also, they seem to do like blocks of time, whereas like you just go, you get in, like the Kirby Cafe, you go at your time. You had to be there 10 minutes early, and you could only stay for like an hour and a half most. They would kick you out. Similar with the Pokemon Cafe, but there it seemed like they weren't like cleaning the tables and stuff. They were waiting for the block to end. Then they would go through the whole place, give it a refresh, and then let the next group in. But it was less like physically themed than the Kirby Cafe, but they did have some cool art, and then they did have a little Pikachu show at one point. And they had similar, like, you know, you can get little styled drinks. Other thing too, like most of the restaurants would have like fake versions of their food like in a display case so you could see what it looks like. However, like to me it's like, well, I don't know what I'm looking at still. Just like when I look at the menu, I was like, I don't know what I'm looking at. I need to translate the menu, or maybe some places would have English menus. I don't remember who got this, but it was like a little Pikachu curry plate. It's like a little rice and curry and some like chips and salad and other stuff. And you had similarly to the Kirby one, you had these special forks. There's like the only few places where you could find forks. Most places had chopsticks. Here's what I had. It was like a little Snorlax fried rice with shrimp, and like these little salad with little Z's coming out there, and then it was like a chicken meal with some sauce, and then I had a big Foy Coco drink. It was like an orange themed drink. Oh yeah, so let me tune the music down. I got really good with chopsticks. Was I go to Japan for 15 plus days, you get pretty good at them. So at one point, unbeknownst to us, they had a little Pikachu guy mascot come out and do a sing and dance. They did the song If You're Happy and You Know It, and they had like a video playing, and then they're instructing us what to do during the song. Stomp your feet. You can see there's like a bunch of 2 table guys placings there. So there's openings. But yeah, it was a treat, and they would basically do this over here, and then he would go over to that side of the restaurant and do the thing there too. Excuse me. Yeah, it was a lot of fun. And you could buy, they had merchandise you could only buy at the Pokemon Cafe. There was only 2 Pokemon cafes, only one of them here in Tokyo, in a different neighborhood. We got lucky to get in here because like it was a similar situation where you had to buy ahead of time. However, there was always a problem with trying to do that. However, if you looked daily, you might be lucky and something might open up for the next day or 2, and that's how we got in. Otherwise, you could go to one and they had like a standby line if somebody were to cancel, or if your group was small enough and they had open tables still. They had open tables. However, it's not a guarantee. And there was people, like, we had a later time, dinner time. And there was like one after us at like 8 something. We had pre-ordered something where, like, when we bought the tickets, we got a couple coasters. They were pretty cute. And then right next to the Pokemon Cafe is obviously Pokemon Center Tokyo. This one was DX, a different Tokyo Pokemon Center. This theme here was the Snorlax, and then DX. So they had like a big focus on the handheld game. So they had this display showing sort of the history of the handheld. So some of these were like video screens, some of them were just like art or whatever. You can see there's some Gashapon on the reflection. Those are all Pokemon Gashapon. In the elevator downstairs, I think they had a wall that was painted with the different starters. This was the water one I was by. So this was, by the time we got out of there, it was nighttime, so it was kind of fun to walk back. This was one of the times where it was raining. This was a light rain. And here's a station. I don't know how to express the size of each of these stations and how insane they are without being there. This one happens to be like late at night in a smaller station, so it was pretty empty. all of them engineering marvels. I don't understand. Like I haven't been to New York, but I have taken plenty of L train in Chicago, and that pales in comparison to these things. But you can see arrows, directions, be a line, shows you how far it is away, and it also shows you like exit 5 through 8 are up this way if you're looking for that exit. Here's some various drinks that we got out of vending machines everywhere, down alleyways, on platforms, just like convenience stores. On every city block, there's at least one convenience store. Family Mart, 7-Eleven. There's another one I'm blanking on now. That's what I meant by earlier, like a plastic. There's a lot of plastic. I hope they recycle. The recycling was confusing there, because in the hotel, they had 2 bins. One of them said combustibles, and the other one said non-combustibles. I didn't know what that meant for recycling versus not recycling. I mean, you can burn anything. We used this luggage service, Yamata, I think it's called. It had a cute logo of a mama cat carrying a baby cat. So they would pick up from either your hotel or a store location, not the combustibles, yes. And they would take your luggage and bring it to the next city. So we used that to get from our luggage from. You kind of had to plan somewhat in advance, so it would be there on time. But we did from Tokyo to Kyoto. In that morning, we went to a restaurant, a family restaurant called Jonathan's. I thought that was funny. They had some sort of, what is this? I don't know my anime very well. Demon Hunter? Demon Slayer? Something? I don't know. With like really cutesy versions of those characters. No. I didn't tell them my name was Jonathan. But you see like this meal, breakfast, pancake, I don't know what this all came with. Only 900 yen. Demon Slayer, is that it? This place was funny because like they had this cat robot that would deliver the food to your table. So this was one of them that they had where you could order at the table on a machine, and then eventually Demon Slayer, there you go. What? It would like blink and stuff, and it would stop at your table, and then you'd pick up your tray, your dishes here, and then it would scoot on out. So here's in Akihabara still, that street basically right by the Yamata and the Jonathan's. When we're at the Jonathan's eating breakfast or lunch, actually it was lunch. there was a Pokemon stop on the phone that said Namco Arcade, and I didn't even realize it was there. So we were like, I want to go to this Namco Arcade before we leave.
The Paley Museum hosts Natalie Portman, Moses Ingram, and Alma Harrell for an exclusive.
They had like, it was like more of a traditional arcade. We did go into a Sega arcade, or they weren't Sega anymore. Some other company bought them out, and they're very much not what you would picture as like an old school arcade in Japan. They're more like a lot of claw machines, multiple levels of claw machines. In the claw machines would just be like boxes of anime figures or whatever. There might be like a gacha floor. And then on the top level was just darts. Pretty much. It was weird. But this one, the Namco ones, they seem to be more old school. So they had like an entire floor with these Taito drum arcade machines. So like all rhythm games. So escalators, all these buildings, just escalators. Thankfully the buildings had escalators. But it was fun. It was like, yeah, right here. Two players, 200 yen for 3 songs. Also, it seemed like you could charge your phone while you were waiting there. I didn't notice that until just now. Which is kind of crazy. There's a Switch version of this game. Obviously, you don't get to play on this giant drum. I had other like rhythm games. I saw people playing this later. I had no idea what they're doing. It was like magic. It was like watching those old school, like, I don't know if you've seen like people play DDR like really well. It was kind of like that, but they were like pushing these buttons and there was stuff going on the screen. It was like, I was amazed. Alright, so the next day we did the Goto Kuji Temple and then the Shinjuku Gion National Garden. So the Goto Kuji Temple is famous as the Lucky Cat Temple. This is where the Lucky Cat idea originated. Here's a picture of getting off the train station and just walking like a block into this neighborhood and already seeing a difference of like, this neighborhood is different than the rest and it's crazy quiet back here. I took a picture of this one because it kind of reminded me of the neighborhood in Little Kitty Big City. I'll be right back. But here's the entrance to the temple. So there was two like main sort of religious area or religious buildings, gardens, whatever you'd call them. There's temples and then there's shrines. The temples belong to the Buddhists. The shrines belong to the Shinto religion. There's history there for sure, but they're pretty like inclusive, I guess. Like you would see combination things, like one thing being sort of integrated into the other in a very open way. Here's some more of these the little prayer things. But each of them, like most of the time, there'd be multiple buildings, and you could never like go. You can go into like the very entryway, but you couldn't really go like into where they pray, I guess. But yeah, birthplace of the Lucky Cat. They make them there. Oh yeah, the building style is very cool and very intricate. Like, we got one, but they just had hundreds of these things. Little ceramic guy, different sizes. You could go and buy them there. You see this like little prayer statues just surrounded by the Lucky Cats. Even up on the little rafters here, somebody put some up here. These ones were specifically donated, like, to the shrine. Even in the pagoda, there was like a cat. Oh, you can't see that. It's like being weird right now. There it is. It's like little cat carvings. I didn't really go in here. I just wanted to like be respectful and take a quick picture of like there was like a cemetery, Buddhist cemetery in here as well. This you could really feel something, the quietness, the just presence of, I don't know, it was just shocking. I don't know. There is a lot of food dogs there, or I don't know if you know this story with the Fu. I don't know how they went from China or wherever to Japan, but they're misinterpreted due to a lack of not knowing what a certain animal is, lions specifically. These are supposed to be lions. It's a little long story short. Yeah, these games. I think they were the other style arcade. But yeah, you'd have these things, and then you go back on the main street, and then it'd just be like shopping and craziness. It's the garden. Oh yeah, so this is just the garden area. Nice big park here as well. People would go in here. There's a really nice kept garden. I think you had to pay a little bit to get into this one, but like people would go there and just like picnic and stuff. But I would do the same thing, because like when you're in the city, like it's just like gray, you know, just like city, concrete everywhere, platforms, when you're underground in the subway system or the trains. But when you're here, it's like peaceful and a good place to just hang out. You could just go hang out for the day or whatever. They had a cool orchid little setup in there. I took some pictures. This is a meal. I don't remember. This is like a warm soba, I think. I think you would be fine as a vegan. This one had pork, but you could do it without meat, I think. I mean, they had tofu as options oftentimes. So that was the last full day in Tokyo. Gosh, it's almost 11. Again, I'll get as far as I can. It's too bad that Mindy can't hang out with us. But hopefully this sound won't get me shut down my archive. The Shinkansen. And trains, just generally speaking, outside of that one incident, trains very clean, very quiet. Mostly, the most annoying people tend to be tourists. The Shinkansen, insane, runs like every 15 minutes. There's multiple trains going from past Tokyo all the way to where we were going and beyond. It made a 4.5-hour drive into a 2-hour and 15-minute experience, going at max speeds of roughly 200 miles an hour. My daughter did get sick from the movement. She wanted to be next to the window. I told her this is kind of like, it's probably why you're not feeling good, because you normally get car sick. Not like actual sick, but you know, ill feeling. That was on the way back. I didn't really have a problem. It did feel a little weird, especially when you're by the window, because they're pretty big. The size of this thing is massive. You can't really tell. It's just kind of nuts. It was pricey. 3 tickets one way, about $150 to $200. We did get Ekiben on the way there to Kyoto, which are like bento boxes you can get at the station for lunch. The Shinkansen is like one of the places you could eat on a train because you're on there for a long time. Never too crowded. Was pretty interesting because like when you were cruising, they did multiple stops. But when you were cruising, the train would lean into turns slightly, so you could feel that. It would sometimes go underground. When you were going past another Shinkansen bullet train, you could feel it. Like the train would kind of like shake, and then when it would leave, it would kind of reset. Like just a slight like bump almost from the air pressure of both of you moving so fast. I still wish they would do something like this here in the United States. We would really benefit from mass travel like that. When we arrived in Kyoto, we went to because we couldn't check in right away, we went to the Kyoto Railway Museum, which was right by, not too far, like one stop away from the main Kyoto station, which is my arch nemesis. The station, not Kyoto Railway Museum. I know, I wish we had more public transport that wasn't just planes. Although, like, I know you're still using electricity here. Which, you know, how are you getting the electricity? That's a whole other question. I'm not sure. The museum was pretty cool. Hell, they had like everything you could think about, like the history of like rail in Japan, a bunch of like old train cars and stuff, talking about like safety and what they do with weather.
Guys, I've devised a plan to find better home internet.
Or we can go with US Cellular's faster home internet.
Can we still keep the heist music?
And then some old signs, which is pretty cool. They had all like the explanation about like, you know, what these signals mean, and they had a bunch of examples. Oh, crud. I'll be right back. Another free, or mostly free, souvenir you could do in Japan, other than you have to buy a book. I mean, I guess you don't have to if you have a notebook, it would work, but we bought these little Eki stamp books. Eki stamp was developed in like the 70s or something at a very small station, and sort of boomed out from there when they were really looking for ways to encourage tourism in Japan. But basically, and this is where I'm standing in front of, each station, or most stations, not all of them, but most stations would have a little stamp station where you could, they had a unique stamp, and over time these changed slightly, so you could even like go through and make a collection. And sometimes even places like the aquariums or like specific locations might have special mascot or other like location specific stamps. But we had this little book. I had this little book and would find the stamp stations. Sometimes they were hard to find, but each of the train platforms or stations would have unique ones. Here's the one that was at or nearby. See, that one had like the little lucky cats for the Gotoguji temple. Some of them had like themes for a different line. Was weird about the public transportation is like, it seems like they had multiple lines and they were different in each of the cities, that were kind of operated by, like the subway was operated by a different like entity than like the regular trains. So some of the lines might have a special like series that were similar. And then I have some location based ones back here. Like the Skytree had like a little mascot ones. The museum or garden would have one. And some more intricate than others. Yeah, it was kind of fun searching for these and getting a little souvenir book. Kind of like having a sticker book, something you found and stamped on your own. The Osaka Aquarium, which is like one of the last things we did, they had a ton of them. And some of them would have like a little stand, like just paper that you could either blot or like, if you didn't have the book, but not all of them did. I think we bought these books online for pretty inexpensive, or you could buy some there even. So this was kind of talking about the history of that. Oh, this was like an imperial, this insignia was relating to, like, if you saw that and this, it was related to the royal family. Oh, this is just one of the, so this is like Kyoto station. You can see like the different differences for sure. Oh, my camera's here. We ate at a place underground, near, like right across the street from the station. It was the Kyoto Tower Sando. They had some interesting, like, this is how you use the food hall here. There, the first day we had some burgers at a place. I had a beef bowl there as well. Sorry. At a place called Nick's. N-I-C-K-S or apostrophe S, like New York burgers or whatever. I don't know what they were going for, but a big thing there is the Wagyu beef, which is our Kobe beef. So I'll get to more on this later, but I think I shared this in our Discord. This was at Marufukuro. Outside on the way, which is the original Nintendo headquarter in Kyoto. Kyoto, very different vibes than Tokyo. Downtown still like busy, but it was like a way more walkable city, and if something was farther out, it was more bus focused. They only had 2 lines of trains there, so you could take them, but there might be more walking or busing connecting to there. But there was often times where it was like, we could take the bus, it would take 20 minutes, or we could walk, it would take the same amount of time, but we wouldn't have to pay anything, based on like how often the buses ran versus the trains, and then how far it was actually going. Oftentimes in those situations, it'd be like, we'll walk 8 minutes to get to the bus, and then 7 minutes when you're done with the bus, and only ride the bus for 3 minutes. It was like, why not just walk that? Because it's basically the same. Oh, there's like a mountain range, like just out of town there. There's rivers. The first night we stayed in a ryokan, which is a very traditional style Japanese hotel, or inn. Very old building, where each room had its own room attendant, so it was a very interesting experience. So this is like a entryway into the rooms. You had to wear sandals. You take your shoes off at the door. Had to wear socks. They would give you yukata, which is like one style of robe to wear. If you were going to use the onsen, we did not use the onsen. If you're familiar, onsens are like bathhouse, traditional. I didn't feel comfortable doing that. When we first got there, our attendant sat us down. I had like one of those old school tables, a very common thing, a matcha and a sweet bean bun. It was good taste, but the texture was something I wasn't sure about. It was too heavy, pasty almost. And the tea is very strong matcha. We learned later that these sticks were sort of like cutting utensils. You're supposed to cut this into like 3 or 4 pieces. But here's like a little sitting area. This would like traditionally not have glass here, but because it's modernized. These sliding doors would shut off, and we were like upstairs, so you can see the tops of the trees into a garden below, where the onsen was on one side, but pretty cool, very serene. Like Kyoto, while some streets busy for sure, it's just a nice little getaway. You can see like the roof line to get into the place. I was probably wearing this incorrectly, but no one corrected. It was raining that day, a little bit in the evening, and in the next morning. So there you would have a table set up for meals, and then they would get pushed off to the side by our attendant, and then they would set up beds. They were like Japanese floor futons. Surprisingly comfortable, one of the more comfortable. A lot of the hotel beds are very firm. But I had similar issues of just being warm. Normally being a warm sleeper, having problems being warm. But very intricate art and interesting. So yeah, here's like a table set up. Oh, this is breakfast. We had choice between a Western style breakfast, which was like eggs and toast and fruit, or a very traditional style breakfast, which I tried. I will say I was a sport about trying most of the things. There's some interesting food in there. They obviously modernized some of the things. Here's a wall outlet with USB stuff. But everything else very traditional. Tatami floor mats. Again, no shoes. You can sleep. You can't. Oh, you can or can't sleep when it's too warm. Yes, it was. That was the part that kept me up more than anything. Just being too warm sometimes. And not because of the room necessarily, but just because of the beds still have like full comforters and stuff. Even that, this was very fluffy and light, but also very warm. Like it'd be good in the winter time even. But yeah, you'd have a soup. You'd have fish, salmon here. This had like some tofu thing in some weird like thicker Jello adjacent sauce with some spring onions. You'd have rice. This was inside here were like seaweed sheets that you could like what I would do is make my own. Put a little rice in there, you put a little fish in there, and you'd have a nigiri. Pickled veg, very common. Not cucumbers, other types of root vegetables. Otherwise, pickled, lots of pickled veg. And most meals would have at least a little of something. This, I don't know if I want to tell you what it was. I did try a little bit of it. Unusual. I'll just say they're baby fish. How's it good? Oh, this was like a weird custard thing. Again, a lot of Jello liquidy, half liquidy textures with things. This was kind of sour. I didn't eat all of it. It was too much for me. In this place, they had a big wooden soaking tub, so I was like, I don't need an onsen. I could just go soak in this wooden tub. It was very nice. Oh, whatever shampoo they were using here, Lab Beauty, that brand, it smelled amazing. It was one of the better smelling soaps, shampoos. Most of even the hotels, they had these rooms that were like shower tub rooms were in like one whole big room to itself inside the bathroom. So after that, I don't remember what we did that next day. Let's see. Oh, so we went shopping and we went to an authentic tea ceremony that day. I just wanted to show like these Nintendo eShop cards that were just at like I think this was just a convenience store. Oh, I took a picture of this. They had a band called Bump of Chicken. This artist, this K-pop group or something, were on a tour. I was showing dates of where they were playing. Oh, there was a Osaka Gigantic Music Festival advertisement here. So Kyoto. Yeah, I don't think you'd vibe with the texture either. Yeah, it was very strange. Like even if it was like some tofu bugs me because of that. Like a similar thing. There's like a wet, spongy thickness, too thick. I don't mind it if it's like really small cubes. The thing about Kyoto, tens of, I don't know the exact number, thousands of shrines, just various sizes. This is one just on the street. You'd find like, you'd walk by and there'd be Bump of Chicken. Yeah, what a name. Oh, it's a little Tanuki statue. More of these lion statues. Just next to this garage, next to these houses. In the shopping area, Snoopy big there for some reason. They have like a Snoopy museum not too far from Kyoto in a different city. We went to a Dotonbori shop, which was like an official Ghibli store, which was kind of interestingly designed and themed. We bought a couple of towels there and some little guys. So it was kind of interesting. It was like a little like tiny shops, buildings, and then like in the middle was kind of outside, but they had like tarps and stuff over top. They had little figures, sort of stuffed animal, Totoro stuff. Some of it for sale, others not. There's a cat bus climbing a tree. But you can kind of see it's like open up here. There's signage. Other stores nearby. But then we went to an authentic tea ceremony. So matcha, one of the few places where we're doing something with other people specifically. There was like a couple from Italy and a couple other people from Florida. But I had a lovely garden here as well. they had like one English speaking, at least one English speaking like sort of guide that was also like a tea master. But then they had a main tea master. I don't think I got a picture of her, but there was like this very specific routine. They would like train to do the ceremony. Originally it used to be like men, but now it's like mainly women, like 90%, I think. It was kind of neat because of my placement. I was one of the 2 people that got served by the official master. It would be like they would serve you, and then you could like, they would teach you like, oh, this is how you make it yourself, and that's what they had like whisks and stuff. But it was in this garden, in this old tea house. It was very serene. Interesting thing about Kyoto is like all the buildings were old and weren't touched by war. Some of the buildings had been redone, like in Osaka or Kyoto, just because of upkeep or whatever. So some of it was more modern, but some of these buildings are like the 800s or 700s or whatever. But yeah, you can see you got like your little plate for mixing your own, and they had that same kind of dessert here with the knife. This one was shaped like a leaf. There's like a little whisk, and then matcha, and then the drinking bowl. This is like a vessel for heating the tea up. Similar art. We were explained like later, all the art on these boards were done on the lower half and a lot of empty space because people would kneel often in these buildings. But it was a pretty cool thing. Like the taste was stronger, more bitter maybe than other places we had matcha, but it was still pretty cool. This was the Kiyomizu-dera temple. This was one of the more populated places for sure. This one had a lot of stairs. We didn't go all the way up, but we did get interesting views of the city from here, the mountains. This is the Kyoto Tower. You might see me wearing the same shirts daily, but we did stay in places that had washing and drying in the unit, so that was very helpful. So we could pack light, only like 7 days worth of clothes, and wash and reuse. Got some carp, Japanese carp. Not the same as koi, but they had koi there as well. This is a different one that was on the, yeah, like I said, they just had these temples. This is the Nataiji temple. Just everywhere, all over the place. Yes, it was super handy to have laundry access. And then, oh, this last one's the Osaka Shrine. Pictures. Then we went shopping at the Kyoto Nintendo store. Luigi Mansion 2. So this one was way more chill, a way bigger space. This was probably my favorite of the Nintendo stores. I got a shirt. I was like, if I'm gonna get a Nintendo shirt, it should be the Nintendo Kyoto shirt. Which I don't know if you can see very well, but a way calmer, even though I don't remember if this is the weekend or not. Again, you could even buy the amiibos here. If you were missing a specific amiibo, they had most of them. They didn't have like the big yarn Yoshi, which was something I was looking for. Harder to find. Animal Crossing stuffies. And on the roof here, there was like a cool display with the Mario going down the pole. Oh. Get to go up on the roof and get pictures. They'll take family photos and stuff. I did get a Mario hoodie at the first Tokyo store that I went to. Which was a little Mario that slides down the zipper, and then a little castle down here. They were very helpful there. I first brought up. Oh, you can kind of see my shirt better. I brought up a small Nintendo Kyoto shirt, and they were like, this is small. Are you sure you want that? And it's like, we have samples. So he brought me over, like, it was like calm enough in there where like they brought me over a sample shirt. I could like hold it up to myself with like smaller medium. It's like, I was like, what do you think? And then both of them were like, I think you should go with the medium. And I was like, okay, I'll go with the medium. Usually I don't mind small t-shirts because I'm a leaner person and they fit me better, but I think generally speaking the smalls there are smaller than they are here. Here's food at some place. I can remember you get these meal sets. This is katsu. Cabbage you would also often find. Maybe they would put a dressing on it. Rice. Miso soup. Here's the Yodobashi in Kyoto. That might have been there. Often breakfast was found at a convenience store. Konbini. Be some sort of pastry. 128 yen for that guy. This was across from the place we were staying. Another big shrine. You know what? I'm gonna stop here. I'm gonna pause here for today. We're gonna continue tomorrow. I didn't realize it was gonna take this long. I have to go pick up my daughter pretty soon. I will talk about my schedule though. It could be pretty normal. It'll be about this time, 8:15, 8:30 to about 11:30, Monday through Friday for the next 2 weeks. And then it's going to shift to afternoon schedule. I know I might not get some of you to watch, but my daughter has summer school for the first couple weeks here. After that, she's going to have park program in the afternoons. So it's just easier. it's just easier to stream then. That way I can spend time with her in the morning, and then I could do streaming in the afternoon. But I will do Mondays as well, so normally don't do Mondays. Still got to think about what I want to do on a Monday. Any suggestions are welcome. If we want to see a different kind of game on Mondays, or more of the same game. I don't know. We can talk about that as the week progresses. But yeah, normally I think turn-based Tuesdays are gonna start the new game, the Marvel game, Midnight Suns, but not tomorrow. Tomorrow will be a continuation of this. Wednesdays Zelda, Thursdays old and new. I'm still thinking about that. Fridays farming. Yeah, more of this tomorrow. Thanks for hanging out. Hopefully it's not too much. Yell at me if it's too much and I will play games again. But thank you again for resubscribing. I appreciate it. And thanks for dragging your boyfriend into here. But yeah, this next one, probably my favorite tour we did. We'll talk about it tomorrow. But thanks again. I will hopefully see you tomorrow. Have a good rest of your day. Bye for now.